Microsoft 365 is the backbone for so many SMBs, but securing it across multiple clients isn't always easy. Today, I'm joined by Matt Currie from IT Voice, who will share how their MSP approached that challenge, along with Adam Bugera from Augmentt, who works with partners securing M365 environments every single day. All right, let's get into it. Matt, to start us off, tell us a little about your MSP business and the types of clients you support.
Yeah, we're a large MSP in Birmingham, Alabama, and we support many types of small and medium-sized businesses across many industries. Microsoft 365 is one of the core platforms for our clients, and our job is not just to deploy, but also to make it secure and manageable and consistent over time.
Now, with those clients in mind, how has Microsoft 365 evolved from just a productivity platform to something that requires a stronger security focus?
Well, Microsoft 365 is no longer just your email and your Office applications anymore. It touches the identity, the collaboration, and file sharing, just so many different parts of their business. And because it's so close to the daily operations, security has to be a part of the conversation from day one.
As more of your clients relied on Microsoft 365, I can only imagine these security expectations started to rise. M365 can be tricky to deploy. Matt, when it comes to securing multiple tenants, what was your real world experience?
Well, the challenge was not whether Microsoft 365 could be secured. The challenge was doing it consistently around so many different client environments. Manual reviews and one-off processes, did not scale well for MSP.
Now, as your client base grew, what security challenges started to surface across those environments?
Probably the biggest thing is consistency. Every tenant we would take a look at would be a little bit different as far as the maturity or the prior setup and things of that nature. So focusing on the consistency was a big portion for us.
What kind of risk or operational strain was that creating on your team?
Mainly, it's just too much manual effort. So being able to have a single platform to allow us to automate and launch was one of the biggest factors for us.
Adam, from your perspective, working with MSPs every day, where do partners tend to struggle most when it comes to securing M365 across multiple tenants?
Yeah, thanks. It's interesting to hear Matt talk about the consistency piece because we do see that. A lot of the feedback that we get, there's kind of a few points. One of the key ones is it's very difficult to get an initial overview of the security posture of tenants to identify any gaps in their configurations, especially if you're onboarding new tenants that may have come from a previous MSP that could have a smorgasbord of settings in there. Once you do the analysis, the second piece is that it's extremely time consuming to then configure all the policies and security settings. And then the third one, which I find I'm hearing more and more as MSPs have started to adopt best practices, is that it becomes a whole other job to then monitor and remediate any configuration drift that occurs against those policies and settings.
Matt, when did you realize your approach to securing M365 needed to change? And what were you looking for in a better solution?
I think when Microsoft 365 became too important to manage in a fragmented way, we really needed a way to do that in a more scalable manner. We wanted, better onboarding consistency, faster visibility to our customers, and that was really a decision point for us.
Matt, what ultimately led you to choose Augmentt?
The main reason was to improve our Microsoft 365 onboarding process. With so many customers coming in with defragmented, types of solutions and things of that nature. Plus, it gives us stronger visibility in a more centralized way to manage all of our customers.
Once you made that shift, I'm curious what you noticed first. Matt, after implementing Augmentt, what changed for your team and how did it impact your client's security posture?
One of the biggest impacts was really the big change was going to be visibility. With a few clicks of a button, we could see all of our clients' security posture and things of that nature. So that was able to help us standardize to a very much more proactive approach.
Adam, once partners have that visibility and control, what tends to improve from a security standpoint?
Yeah, there's a couple things. On a basic level and just straightforward, you're going to see, an increase in the Microsoft secure and identity scores. But On a deeper level, we always see further alignment with security framework requirements, posture hardening. And one of the key things is you usually see a pretty significant increase in technician efficiency and confidence when both proactively securing a tenant and then reacting to security incidents.
All right, let's zoom out for a moment. Matt, if an MSP is feeling stretched thin trying to secure M365 across tenants, what advice would you give them?
First thing we would say is, don't try to manage it tenant by tenant with manual processes. Start with a clear standard of what good looks like, templatize that, and then use tools and processes, to make sure that you can, secure those clients across all your platforms.
Some great advice. Now, Adam, from your vantage point, what separates MSPs who successfully manage M365 at scale from those who struggle?
Yeah, I love hearing Matt talk about having a plan because that's kind of the first thing that I noticed with successful MSPs is they have a plan and an offering in place that clearly outlines their scope of work for M365. And then I'm going to kind of add a caveat to that they also ensure that they're being fairly compensated for the amount of work that goes into both securing and then managing it. And the second piece, not to sound biased here, but it's having the right tools in place. M365 becomes a much more tameable beast when you use the tools that, can empower one technician to do the work of many, or for an L1 to confidently and accurately do the work of an L3.
Such a great conversation. Adam and Matt, thank you both for sharing your experience and insights today.
Thank you, Sydney.
Thank you.
As Microsoft 365 continues to evolve, so do these security expectations around it. The partners who succeed are the ones who build visibility and consistency into every tenant they manage. To learn more about how Augmentt is helping MSPs do just that, visit the website right there on your screen. For the Channel Company, I'm Sydney Neely.